Hi guys,
Hello.
This week I have my podcast buddy Nolan Mowbray here, and we're going to talk about 5 roles that Keanu Reeves could play in the MCU.
Maybe 6.
Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Nerd News. It's a very special day because my podcast buddy decided to join me here because he's my friend.
Hello, I'm Nolan. I can't read the teleprompter. Totally kidding.
And so we're going to talk about some of the characters that the fans want Keanu Reeves to be in.
And then we're going to say we totally disagree with them because they're silly fans, and we're going to give our own interpretation.
Of course, because you know who we are, doctors of casting.
Nerd stuff.
All right, so in no particular order, we're going to start with
number 1.
Number 1, you ready?
And then we're going to go to number 2.
We'll see.
Yeah.
The Mandarin.
The Mandarin. Not like the navel orange.
No, he won't play an orange.
Oh.
That's in the next multiverse. So the fans want Keanu Reeves to play the Mandarin in a future movie in the MCU, but the fact that there is no Iron Man left, who could he actually fight? And would this be an issue of whitewashing if he was cast as the Mandarin?
Well, it wouldn't completely be whitewashing. I mean, Keanu actually has some ties to the Asian heritage, but I thought the Mandarin, needed Iron Man to kind of rough up on, so who would it be?
I'll tell you.
Yes, do tell us.
So Marvel has a movie slated for 2020 as of right now called Shang-Chi.
Okay.
And there are certain points in the comic where the Mandarin kind of fits into that storyline.
Interesting.
So that could be a possible entryway for Keanu in the MCU, which I believe and you believe he belongs in the MCU.
He certainly does.
The man's a legend. So the next character that everyone wants him to be, and I actually like this, is Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
Now,
I'm not too familiar.
Moon Knight is Marvel's Batman.
Oh.
It's pretty much almost the same kind of character, but Moon Knight is his suit is kind of white and dark, and he is that he's out for justice, and he scares people, and if he'll beat you up. If you die from being beat up, so be it, but he doesn't kill you.
So he's kind of like the Metropolis Knight.
Pretty much.
Gotham's instead of Gotham's Dark Knight, he's Metropolis's White Knight.
Exactly. What if Keanu kind of fits into that kind of Batman-esque role? I would be okay with that. Think of John Wick with a really cool costume like Moon Knight.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I would like to see them. Then they would have to bring John Bernthal back for the Punisher, because that seems like he would that kind of movie would fit in.
Do you hear that, Marvel? Do you hear that? Listen.
Yes, I know things. I recommend Moon Knight and Punisher.
Do it. So next on this list is a character called Kraven the Hunter.
Who I have never come across. Kraven the Hunter. Who is he?
So Kraven is a Spider-Man villain.
Okay.
He's a big game hunter who has hunted every animal imaginable on Earth. His next big trophy is he wants to kill the biggest and most popular thing in New York, which is Spider-Man. And I can just see him in, if they did an R-rated version, he kills Spider-Man, and you see him in an old abandoned shack, and he's skinning Peter Parker, and he puts on the suit and he goes,
a Parker suit.
Aunt May! That just turned dark. I think the only downfall to this one is Kraven is a very large man, physically. Anyone can bulk up, but this guy in the comics is Batista big. And they
Batista big. That's a good ad.
Batista big.
Batista big.
Fans wanted Gerard Butler in this role because he actually visually does look like the character.
But Gerard Butler is small. S-M-all.
But he's beefier.
Okay.
If I was to cast between the two, I think I lean more towards Gerard Butler because he looks like the comic, but Keanu's so much better than just a hunter.
Yes.
So last on the list for the characters that
it's
the fans
your
want
boy
is my guy.
Your guy.
Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer.
And I say nay.
Really?
Yes.
Why no for the Silver Surfer? Is it Robert Pattinson because he can sparkle?
It's personal, Nolan. It hurts me.
What, that Robert Pattinson should be Silver Surfer, or that Keanu Reeves should be Silver Surfer?
Both. It hurts me right here, Nolan.
What is it about Silver Surfer that you do not want one of the coolest cats in Hollywood to be?
So the thing with Silver Surfer, whoever is in this role, because he is coming in the MCU. Like
Yes.
it's gonna happen.
About time, right?
It's all mocap because he's you can't put silver paint. It just doesn't work. It's all mocap.
Okay.
So his voice wouldn't be bad, but when I read Silver Surfer, when I see the character, I think of a different voice. Like for example,
Morgan Freeman.
no, not Morgan Freeman.
James Earl Jones.
But maybe. But in the Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, horrible movie, but Lawrence Fishburne did the voice. That was actually not bad.
Right.
I didn't mind that. So I want a more distinguished, more kind of like
A distinctive voice than
yes,
Keanu Reeves.
because Silver Surfer is this entity who helps Galactus destroy the world. So he has this air about him, this like Dr. Manhattan clear-cut voice.
How about Robert Patrick? Because he's had experience being a Silver Surfer, the T-1000.
Robert Pattinson.
Patrick.
Pattinson. So now let's move on to the characters that we think he should play. Nolan, first.
Keanu Reeves would be better as the spirit of vengeance manifesting itself actually in Vengeance. Vengeance was another version of Ghost Rider, but just a complete and total different take on it, where he was stronger, bigger, more powerful, and actually cared less about who the good and the bad was that Ghost Rider did, but just wanted vengeance to be done.
Fair enough.
And the other thing that would tie this in is Vengeance teamed up a lot with Venom.
Fair enough.
Yes. So I think that would be great.
All right, and who I think Keanu should play, there's two in my mind, and let me explain
Okay.
why. One is Adam Warlock, but if I was a casting director, I would actually choose, I can never say his name, Jamie Lannister. Nikolai, him. But I think I'm actually really liking the idea of him as Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Just because it's Marvel's Batman, and with John Wick, we can see Keanu being very ruthless and like, oh, you have a leg? Not anymore. And so,
I will beat you to death with it.
So that's an untapped character, and Keanu is introduction. I think that's perfect for Keanu. So guys, that's the list of what the fans want, what we think will be really good. What do you think? Who do you think Keanu should play? Let me know in the comments below. And guys, Vengeance. If this is your first time subscribing, please hit the like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of all future episodes
Of Nerd News.
And I want to thank Nolan for stopping by
My
and
pleasure.
doing the episode. And guys, if you like us together, you should listen to our show, The Podcast with No Name. Where can they find it?
They can find the Podcast with No Name on SoundCloud, iTunes, Facebook, Instagram, and sometimes Snapchat.
And if you can point on the screen what the logo looks like, they're going to see it.
This one.
And that's the logo. And remember, guys, where there's a whoa, there's a way.